Easier said than done. So many people are skeptical about their own abilities to change something about their lives, taking challenges and actually not stopping to do and to perform in those. So why is that? So where comes this doubt from? I will never do that because it's survivorship bias. It's just a small percentage of people actually be able to do that. First of all, you don't need to be extremely super rich in order to have made successfully the change to something. And the second thing is you need to define for yourself what is actually success. And then it's all about you to get there. It is not a statistic out there. And when you don't meet the statistic, you can't get there. It is about you. So you have it in your own power. And if you can't do it, you're actually not doing what's in your power to actually change something about that. That is the harsh reality. So many people think like, okay, I need to find a way to start. I'm 100% sure that most of you have already started here and there something. I think that people don't understand discipline. Discipline is not the I must do something. That would be the external obeying of a public perception of something, fulfilling a requirement others might have given to you. Discipline is your intention put into practice. It is what you want to do. And if you don't have that, if you cannot develop it, think about that. You cannot act in your own intention, which isn't the best thing you can do. Think about that really for a moment. You need to develop the skills and the ability to do that intentionally. Otherwise, you cannot reach any of the potential of yours. The point is not how to start. The point is not to stop with what you do. Because to actually challenge yourself in a meaningful way means to not stop it. It means to always push a little bit more forward. Always reflect on what you have done and commit next day with an adopted version to your old version and not stop doing it. Reflecting, writing down who you were, who you want to be tomorrow. This loop is essential. You don't need to change overnight. No one develops the mindset overnight to be successful in the way you define it for yourself. Nobody is. For me, it took years being entrepreneur, multiple businesses, father, husband, all these kind of aspects all together with a lot of challenges in life. And still live a life where you are happy with what you have, happy with the progress you've made, and looking forward for tomorrow making new and better progress than you have done today. That is an easy thing to do. But when people read about overcoming that, overcoming this, you always assume it with a specific goal. We call it SMART goals. It is not about SMART goals. You don't need to be specific. It is not a business. You are not a business. You are a person, so you need to develop yourself, not to become very specific, but to become better than you were yesterday. And for doing that, you need to understand who you were today. Don't take the definition of done for yourself, because the definition of done is a great thing for a team, because a team only works with influence. So you need to influence each other, you need to set goals, you need to make sure that everyone reaches them. But if you work for yourself, just with yourself, you have the power over yourself. You have the power over your own mind, which means you can act in it with intention, which means you should stay in practice instead of setting yourself goals, which are meant as an inspiration for others. You don't need inspiration for yourself. You need the intention and the ability to make this intention reality, which is potential based on discipline. That is what I can give you as advice. It's evening right now, so I'm getting into my reflective phase. This is the reason I record for you, because I was thinking about that, because it is a challenge for me, of course, not to stop as well. It is easier over time because you get used to it. You understand the patterns, you see the patterns, and you exactly know what you don't want to be. But you need to get there somehow, and that is by yourself. You need to know about yourself. You need to develop yourself. You need to understand who you are and make this change. Nobody else can. No motivational guru will help you doing that. They might help you to start on first 2 or 3 days, but then it's all up to you if you develop the discipline to do so. And you need, and that is what I learned actually from Kai, my streaming partner. He's very much into identity building. And this is what I really like. That is the phrase I adopted, because that is essentially what we do in Stoicism. But he phrased it pretty good in terms of running, for example. You need to identify as a runner. So then it's easier for you to actually say that, okay, I'm going out for running, becoming better physically today than I was yesterday. And if you adopt the stance that you are this person and you don't do this, you feel bad about this. This is the motivation you actually need. You need to feel good when you do it, and you need to feel bad when you don't do it. It is the same thing as you're looking for in other people, like the external motivation, the external coach, the external person who is pushing you forward. Yet you don't need it. You can do it all by yourself, but you need to have reason. And that reason you get by reasoning. That's what differs us from all animals out there. You have the power to reason about your own life. So understand what you need to commit to, what you have done, what your potential is, what the correct green signals are, which leads you towards that goal, and the red signals which leads you away from that. Distractions, shiny objects, these kind of things which aren't part and shouldn't be part of your life. And that is exactly what you need to understand. That loop is actually quite easy. And you are the person who need to shape yourself. So the Stoic saying of you are both the marble and the sculpture is extremely important to understand. Every day you need to shape yourself, and that hurts a little bit. You can't hit yourself without hurting yourself, and you can't shape yourself without hitting you. Little bit every day, and it will become easier. That compounds to a newly formed mindset, and that newly formed mindset will lead you where you need to go. So start today, and my recommendation is just to journal about it. You don't need to have special tricks, special motivation, systems. No. Just journal. Easy practice. It's not even a system, really. It is just a practice. Write down in the morning who you want to be today, how you will react to specific things. Maybe write down a voluntary discomfort to develop yourself a little bit further, to prepare yourself for challenges which will happen during the day, which will be unforeseen for you, and you already prepare for yourself for them. And then in the evening, take a look. Where are you this person? Where are you this person you have committed yourself to? And if not, what do you want to change for tomorrow? And if yes, reflect on that, write that down, manifest it, and make it a thing for the next days to come as well. Learn those patterns to recognize the patterns next time. Then you can focus on the good patterns, and you can make sure that you avoid the wrong patterns. If you see them coming, you have the power to intervene because, well, you have identified those. So this is a practice you can learn very easy, and you will learn it on a natural level because that is extremely natural based on the reason given by nature to humans. It's basically about the human condition, and the human condition is nearly the same, if not the same, for everyone, for every one of you out there listening to that. So you can leverage this by just starting the journey and learn it yourself. You will get to the point without the need of reading books. You should read, you should listen to things because it will be easier to spot those patterns. But essentially, it is possible to do it all by yourself. And that's what I wanted to give you today. It's not about starting. It is about not stopping and understanding the conditions of the human mind, the ego, and the muse, and the self, the potential, the signals, and everything you need to do in order to understand these patterns, leverage, and move forward in your life, becoming a person in progress, a person who is happy, and a person who can control their own emotions and not steering towards unhappiness all day long. I hope that helped you a little bit. Follow me for more of this type of content, of Stoic ideas, how we can get better, and I wish you a great day. See you back.